Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the fencers and referees of the final match of Junior and Cadet Fencing World Championships Cairo 2021. This is the final for the junior team men's foil. Russia fencers, Daniil Krvtsov, Egor Barannikov, Zakhar Kozlov, Stepan Martynovich, and the United States of America. Fencers, Daniel Zang, Kenji Bravo, Marcello Olivares, Ashton Daniel. Thank you. And the referees for the final are Marcello Olivares, Willem Nadra, Andrei Kovrishnik, Ahmed Mandouhali. Referees, please start the bout.
Kozlov misses over the top. Olivares makes the counterattack, kind of returning the favor. That's 2-1. And riposte with lunge is good, 2-all. Another tough match. It's going to be another squeaker, I predict.
Yes, another Russia, America, USA lineup. Here at the beginning, the first round of the junior team men's foil competition at the Junior and Cadet Fencing World Championships in Cairo. Got 9 rounds of action here for a gold medal.
And parry repost misses. Kozlov jumps inside, makes the counterattack, and puts Russia ahead 3-2.
Just finished a down to the wire win for the Russians on the gold medal for the women and junior women's team foil, and we are I'm sure the Americans are anxious to even it out here tonight. I'm here with Peter Bouchard, president of USA Fencing.
Attacked by Mr. Olivares, hits to the flank of Mr. Kozlov. Thank you very much, Serge. I'm very happy to be here with you in Cairo, Egypt, at the Junior Cadet World Championships 2021.
Well, you have a lot of experience in foil, and we really appreciate your insight here. It's helpful.
And Kozlov intercepted the blade, but went flat, and Olivares makes remise and puts the U.S. up 4-3. And they both missed. Now Mr. Kozlov proving that he must have hit something. His foil didn't work, and look, they're changing foils.
Mr. Kozlov, of course, world champion the other night at the junior individual men's competition for foil. Mr. Olivares taking 5th place.
And Mr. Claus gets a red card for, or a yellow card rather, for causing Korakor. Parry repos misses, and the counterattack hits, so it's 4-all. Mr. Olivares called for a video review, and it is refused, and the score is 5-4 with Russia in the lead. Now that yellow card is going to disappear, and we'll move along to the next leg with Daniil Krvtsov for Russia against Kenji Bravo of the United States.
Overall, the U.S., at least in terms of numbers and ranking and results, has a bit of a stronger team here than Russia. Certainly, you know, Daniel Zhang is there. He was world champion the other night in cadet. You know, I don't know if he's how strong he feels today, but we're going to see a match at the end of Kenji Bravo, who's a great American junior fencer, up against Kozlov, the world champion. So 2 very strong teams. And I think Russia is going to be very happy that Kozlov is going to anchor, but he may have to be doing some catch-up, and he's going to be needing the help of his teammates to do that, especially from Baranikov. And Krvtsov is no slouch here.
There's a counter parry repost by Kenji Bravo. Looks like second intention. He suckered the Russian into feeding him the repost and the counter repost. Tag off target by Kenji Bravo.
Kenji Bravo missing the medal round the other night in junior, taking 7th place. He was actually on the results. He's actually tied for 7th place on the results with Baranikov, which is an interesting result.
That is. Korakor causes, that is to say, body contact causes a halt, and the one light hit was ruled after the halt by our Czech friend
both teams coming out strong.
There was a parry repost there by Mr. Krvtsov, and ties the score at 6.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are looking very strong, and you know, both wanting to get an early lead.
But they're not able to. It's 6-all. There's an attack and a counterattack. Bravo. Stepan on the foot of Mr. Krvtsov. And there was a remise, but with a flush into the preparation of Kenji Bravo by Mr. Krvtsov. 7-6 Russia. Counter riposte by Krvtsov, 8-6. So 8-6 in favor of Russia. I think it's quite a surprise to Kenji that the Russians are coming out so strong. But as I said before, team event brings out the personality and the kind of the esprit de corps of a country. And these people have worked together for a long time.
Well, and in truth, these fencers have fenced against each other for a long time. These juniors have been around since the cadets.
Bravo hits off target. It's unlike him, by the way. That remise was ruled carried the attack, and then the remise was fast, but it wasn't. Did not have right away, so the riposte is off target, and no score. And there's the riposte that hit. So score is 8-8. Kind of returning the favor again. And Krvtsov hit a similar touch.
Guess what?
9-8. Change of weapon, baby.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. You're our only audience. We, under the COVID protocol we have here, which is a bubble concept, you have to leave the stadium when you're finished fencing, and everyone has to be within the hotel or the venue. Nobody can go anywhere other than those two places or be on the official transportation. Everyone from the bus drivers and the waiters in the hotel, in the restaurant, to the coaches and the referees and the officials and the athletes, everyone, we're all in this bubble. We get tested frequently. With COVID, we're trying to keep everybody healthy. Russia takes a lead here, widens it out a little bit to 10-8 at the end of the second period, moving into the third with Baranikov against Zhang.
So sportsmanship is upheld here. Referees insist that they follow protocol and come to their on-guard lines and salute before they rotate in the next matchup. So Baranikov against Daniel Zang, as you mentioned before, cadet world champion a couple of days ago. Last night, exactly, a couple of days ago. That would have been junior. That was last night, yeah. I think you theorized that he might be tired.
I can't imagine.
Attack is good. Baranikov brings Russia up 11-8. And the referee has ruled that Baranikov made a pair of riposte, but Daniel Zang insists that it was he who made the final pair of riposte. So we'll see what the ruling is as they consult the video monitor. Daniel Zang asking for the video review. Russia's coming out with guns blazing, as they say. Kind of a different approach than the women's. The women, the U.S. was ahead early, and then they came on strong.
Yeah, but you don't really want to let these Russians get ahead too far any more than the Russians would want to let the U.S. get ahead too far here. I mean, they've got a 4-point lead. There we go, a little reversal on the review there, so a
Video
2-point lead. That's a little more comfortable for the Americans, but they're going to be very careful. You know, you don't, if either one of these teams is going to take a lead and use it to their advantage and play it to the hilt. So if you can go neck and neck. Oh, now we're at 12-9.
It was a beautiful attack from the left, where he got through the defense.
Yeah.
And he's a very difficult fencer to hit, the U.S. fencer.
Zhang.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, he's very slender, very little. And this Russian Baranikov is almost twice his size.
But he knows what he's going to do. He's prepared for this. There's no surprise here. When you won the World Championship, people study what you did. That was a nice attack into preparation by Zang with a nice closeout, lefty-righty. And
so explain a little bit about cadets and juniors and ages. So I know that the cadets are under 17, right?
yeah, the oldest you can be is 17.
So what's the youngest you can be?
14, I think, something like that.
Okay. So if you're a cadet fencing as a junior, what's the youngest you can be?
I think if you have points, you can do it.
Could you be 14 in fencing in the juniors?
I think.
Uh-huh.
If you're so good that you've got junior points. Look, that same panel of lights gets knocked over.
Yeah. Well, no, I'll say something that we sort of missed in the last round of women's junior team foil with Lauren Scruggs. We talked about her being the world champion in Torun 2 years ago, in 2019 at the juniors. A little correction there. She was actually both the junior and the cadet world champion that year. So she had a double gold medal, which was phenomenal. So I just wanted to clarify that.
That's good. Here we see Baranikov like using his height to jump out of the way of Daniel Zang's signature moves that are meant to be done up close. So it looks like they've been coached what to do against him. Or maybe Baranikov like figured that out himself. And he makes an attack and hits. And they're up by 5. Here comes Marcello Olivares up against Krvtsov. We saw how well Krvtsov fenced the last one, and which I think was against Mr. Bravo, and the fencer from Florida and the University of Notre Dame. Marcello Olivares is coming up for the United States.
Krvtsov 35th the other day in junior, in the individual junior foil event, and Mr. Olivares took 5th place.
Yeah, and I think that this is right here is where
the U.S. needs to try and pull it in, tighten it up. This is probably their biggest opportunity in this round. So that's a lot of pressure on Olivares.
Looks like he relishes it, though. He's very kind of aggressive, the way he fences. He's got those quick feet. So Krvtsov kind of stopped, and Olivares went into him, so he's awarded the touch. And that time, Krvtsov was able to hit. The same trick did not work twice. So, 4-touch deficit for the United States against a fired-up Russian team. And parry repost by the Russians by Krvtsov. 17-12, 5 touches. And they just keep rolling up the score here.
Well, I think the U.S. was thinking they need to speed things up here a little bit, and that's sort of how they do things. I think the Russians are, as you've pointed out, technicians.
He tried to spin out of the way, and since they're on a raised strip, he fell down. I hope he's okay. It looks like he is. Oh, he's a little back. That moves.
I see that would have been a life-threatening injury in the veterans event.
Very good.
Of course, that was the last World Championship we had at the FIA. Was the World Veteran Championship, World Championships for veterans here in Cairo, 2019.
Right. Krvtsov, another parry repost, and Olivares.
Americans getting frustrated.
They're not hitting the parry repo. They're making nice right-of-way actions and not scoring. So, got to give Krvtsov and the Russians a lot of credit. They're able to stop signature actions by the Americans, like that attack and preparation that Olivares likes to do. He's being frustrated, and the turning counterattack move by Zang also frustrated. So I do think that the Russians formulated some strategies against the individuals.
Right. And I think it would help the Americans to slow down a little bit and take things a step at a time here, a touch at a time, and not overdo it to catch up. They like that. You know, he took his time on that. He wasn't just rushing into it, and it paid off.
Well, 1 minute is half the period. The 6-touch deficit. Can he score 7 before the other one scores 1? We'll see. It's a bit tall order. Off target, tried to spin out of the way.
So I think just running at it isn't going to solve the problem.
And parry repost by a very acrobatic parry repost by Olivares, and he makes a nice score. So he's got it down to 5 right now. But I think what you said is right. And he has slowed down. But parry repost in the end.
Sometimes in fencing, it's all about Occam's razor. Simple is best. Simple is what is the answer.
Okay, here comes. So they've substituted now a fencer who's extraordinarily tall and slender, Mr. Ashton Daniel, coming in from the United States against Kozlov.
Ashton Daniel was 19th in the junior competition the other day. He's ranked 5th in the world. In the juniors.
Beautiful Italian preparation.
And this was, if I'm not mistaken, this was going to be Zhang versus Kozlov, which would have been an interesting match with the two world champions against each other from the cadets and the juniors. But this throws a little different kink into it with Ashton Daniel. Maybe they thought Zhang was a little tired from last night. Hard to say, but
Daniel misses over the top, and Kozlov's able to duck underneath it and makes a remise.
Russians with an 8-point lead.
They're starting to stretch it out here.
Not what the Americans want at the moment. Kozlov looking very comfortable, relaxed, protecting his lead, not overdoing it.
I think he's content around the clock, frankly.
Well, and that may be what the Americans want to do at this point with Kozlov. They don't want to risk any larger
Eight points is a lot.
lead.
They need some touches.
They do. The next round is going to be Baranikov versus Bravo. And so they may be counting on Bravo to make up some of that deficit.
True.
But he's got to pace himself. So far, coming out of the gate like a racehorse isn't paying off. Daniel's definitely got some long legs on him.
And arms.
And arms.
I just think they're a little bit slow. Oh, they got it back.
He did.
Still got a seven touchy.
8-touch lead.
Oh, 8-touch lead, yeah. Goodness.
It's been a long day.
It has.
Your simple math skills are the ones that go first, trust me.
I'm a lit major, sorry. We're looking for a replay here. Just 1 minute or so to go, a little bit under a minute. And I think you might be right. I think maybe the Americans had told him to just hold the line. But he wasn't able to do it.
Greg Macialis coaching. Of course, he's the coach of the U.S. men's foil team that's #1 in the world right now.
You're talking about seniors, though.
Yes. Father of Alexander Macialis, who did quite well in the juniors in his time.
Ashton Daniel using his height right there. 7-touch deficit. So Mr. Motter, the referee, gives Kozlov a yellow card for obscuring his target with his mask.
Is that something you think that just happens by accident sometimes, or is it something that's intentional? Or kind of
Sure.
both?
Yeah, I mean, it is a definite kind of move where he goes in low, and then when he's about to be hit, ducks down and tries to take the point on his mask.
Moving on to the next round. This will be the 6th round.
We're going to 30.
Going to 30.
Yeah.
With Kenji Bravo of the U.S. against Egor Barannikov.
Right. So this is the final rotation. Yeah.
This is the
the end of the second rotation.
This is where the USA is going to have to work hard to make up points if they're going to have a chance.
That time there was a parry repost, but then before Mr. Baranikov could get his blade ready to make a repost, there was a quick remise by Kenji Bravo, and on one light touch.
Yeah.
Mr. Motter, the referee, has asked him to adjust his mask or something, or not exactly sure. There's some equipment readjustment here. Coach Marcello is trying to fix something over there on the mask. Meanwhile, Mr. Baranikov is receiving coaching from his side, his team booth right there. Looks like we're ready to go here once Mr. Bravo gets his mask cord straightened out. Okay, here we go. And he gets what he wants, and then he's unable to hit the repost, and he gets remised. Talking about the Kenji Bravo.
Well, Kenji Bravo is methodical.
Except that he's missing over the top. That's 2 in a row. He had the right of way, but missed. There's a parry repost where he's hitting a little bit lower, not going over the top, so successful there. Riposte off target. Parry repost off target. The energy that Kenji displayed earlier is not really there, and he just got hit in preparation by Baranikov. So when you said that this is when the Americans need to make up touches, well, it's a little difficult. And the counter parry repost hits, so 8-touch deficit. I think Baranikov's done a heck of a good job to keep that gap. I think we both thought that this would be a mismatch, and it's turned out not to be true.
Right.
Got it down at 7. Still got more than half the period. And he got what he wanted again, took a parry, and was unable to land the repost. That hit with the remise. I think the Russian technicians are really picking the Americans apart. So the Russians believe that Mr. Bravo put his mask in the way, and they're going to find out here with their video replay, and they are correct. So no touch annulled. Parry riposte off target. Every time he gets close, his blade gets taken. You got to give Baranikov a lot of credit for that. Uh-oh. I thought his knee kind of got... oh, he needs the magic spray. I think his knee kind of buckled on there, looks like. Here comes the doctor and her assistant. Oh, and the Russian doctor is there first.
We have
dueling magic sprays, too. Off comes a shoe. And we don't have an injury timeout.
Ankle.
We don't have an injury timeout going.
Not yet. Sock comes off.
So it's supposed to be 5 minutes only once the injury's verified. But I don't see a clock. Now, that could be...
It takes a minute to get it going because they have to get the confirmation from the medical professional. So sometimes it's not just immediate because they have to make an assessment. And so during that assessment is sort of a little gray period in timing because it's an untimed break period, but they can't let it go too long. Let it go on very long, otherwise, and I don't know if there's an official amount of time for that, but it's not typically more than a minute or two. And then they have to go to a timing. So
it looks like he's already had his ankle taped up to begin with. When he takes on his sock.
Well, that's maybe why he had that in. Why he fell, because he already had an injury there and it just collapsed on him.
Right. That's what I'm thinking too.
It was already weak.
Well, these athletes are, highly trained, and then there was the long COVID break, and I don't know what kind of training they did during that.
The referee is urging him on to hurry and tie his shoes.
Right.
Not take his time.
As I said, there's no clock going.
Is it up to the athlete? Can they say, I want a 5-minute break, or does it have to be? It has to be confirmed by the doctor that they need one, right?
Correct. You can't just stop the.
You can't just say, hey, I'm in pain. I need a 5-minute break.
Nope. So 54 seconds in the sixth encounter. We got some more time. Mr. Motter, the referee, wants the mask cord to be in a certain way, and now he's doing it himself.
So what are your thoughts on what the Russian strategy has been here?
Well, I think they've scouted him really, really well, and they figured out how to beat Daniel Zang, and they figured out how to beat Marcello Olivares, and then the rest of it just to hold, like a tie score with Kenji, and I think they figured that if they keep Daniel and Kenji even, they'll win against the other two. That's what it appears to me, because they did just the right thing against the two fencers I mentioned. Everyone has a style, and if you figured out how to beat them and coach your fencers ahead of time, because they probably figured a long time ago that was going to be the matchup,
There's a point for Kenji. That light has a problem.
Yeah. Here comes David Blake again, one of the foremost experts in electronics in the world, and he's relegated to reinstalling that light panel all the time. They also look like all they want to do is intercept the blade a lot.
Another point for the USA. 23-29. 15 seconds left in this quarter, in this round.
This is another repost off target.
That's a classic Kenji flying touch move that didn't land right.
Also hasn't been successful this round.
No. He used to do that as a cadet very effectively.
And we have a 7-point deficit running into the last rotation with the extraordinarily long and tall Ashton Daniel for the United States against Mr. Krvtsov, who has been quite successful and quite a formidable opponent for the United States.
And so just so that people know, when we talked about team matches, and if you're not familiar with fencing to this level, you get 3 people on a team and you can have 1 alternate. You're allowed to trade an alternate in at some point 1 time. That's it. And you have to inform the other team at least 1 bout ahead of time that that's happening. So it's something you use if somebody injures themselves, or if you are losing and you have a stronger person you think that can come in and do it. If you have if it seems that there's an obvious mismatch between your fencer and some people who are coming up on the other team, and the way the lineup is. So you have some options strategically as to how you do that. It doesn't always happen. There's not always a trade. You don't always trade in an alternate. But if you think you're going to have an easy time against a team, you might take your strongest fencer and let them sit out as an alternate, only throw them in if things go wrong and you need them. So there's a lot of strategy for how you use that.
I think that the Americans thought that the Russian team would be easier to beat, honestly.
Well, frankly, the U.S. team came into this a little bit stronger overall, but obviously that hasn't played out so far. But I think, if you just look at pure results, rankings, et cetera, they're a little stronger. But yeah, the Russians, you never want to underestimate the Russian teams.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, right now after we've had a year break and,
I don't know, the Americans look nervous, like they can't hit things. They look a little nervous.
Well, they're 7 points down in the 7th round, so.
No, I know, and
that.
but yeah, so that's when you show your mettle.
Right, that's when you buckle down.
Yep. I think this happened to the Americans earlier this competition in the men's saber team event too. you know, they came in ranked #1 and they didn't live up to it.
I remember many, many years ago in Sabre seeing the final between Italy and Russia, and Italy was ahead 44-38 and with Poznikov anchoring, and he came back and freight trained his way into a win.
Yeah, so I think, you know, the team event is a kind of a national cause for the Russians. They do really, really well.
Well, and team is really one of the most
pride.
important events for the Olympic Games too. You know, and training juniors to fence team in a team setting is essential to building a strong team that is capable of handling the Olympics.
Yep.
People think the individual gold medals are where it's at, but you know, team is very important. For some countries, it's where everything is.
Well, he used his height and jumped away, so that's what to do. And that guy's got that great preem pair, which is essential to be close together. So Ashton Daniel's going to keep his distance. And there he got closed out on his attack. The line was closed with the steal, and he ran onto the point. And there he got a nice attack. So Krvtsov is trying to crowd the distance, it looks like to me, and that time he ran into Daniel's point. And off target. Nice beat attack and hit off target. So there's a beat attack by Krvtsov. It should be a parry repost. Yeah. I think Daniel made an 8 parry repost there. But we'll see what the referees say. The Russian fencer Krvtsov looked over to his coach, and the coach indicated that he thought the column might be reversed. So we'll see what happens. Here we go. It was not, and Mr. Daniel has brought it within 6. And Mr. Daniel makes a reprise of attack, and as Krvtsov is trying to get close, he ran into Daniel's point. It's very fortunate for the United States that that happened. I think they've probably figured out now that Krvtsov wants to be close, and Daniel, given his height, wants to be far away. So that that scenario played out in favor of the United States just now. And look, the momentum starts to change, so we change weapons. That's what we do. And things have slowed down considerably, as you suggested, and everyone's being very careful right now.
Well, the Russians are, you know, the Americans are obviously going to attack, and the Russians are trying to interrupt that attack and keep them from being in a place where they can attack, whether it's on the strip, you know, or in a particular type of attack that is specific to one of their styles.
And he tried to jump inside and was parry reposted against
that. Was an error.
Daniel.
That was an error on his part. I think that was a misjudgment.
Correct. I think Ashton Daniel was looking for that too.
Yeah. It's a situation where you can't ever let somebody tell you that height isn't an advantage in foil. It can be.
And he missed the repost. It looked like it even bent on the person's chest, but.
Oh, a new light fell over. Okay.
Is that a different one? Or?
Yes.
Yeah. And he's leaning in, getting advice from his coaches, and the referee has admonished him not to do that. And he missed again. So he had the right of way. He made a nice beat, and then he was unable to hit. There's the Cairo repost. And it's 3 times in a row he missed when he had the right of way. Unusual.
We're going to 40 points. No, we're going to 35 points here in the 7th round. So 1 more point for the Russians before we move on to the 8th round here. Ultimately going to 9 rounds.
If they get it without Daniel scoring again, they'll maintain that 7-point deficit.
There it is. Moving now on to the 8th round. We're going to have Mr. Baranikov and Mr. Olivares.
Okay, well.
Mr. Olivares has a bit of a task set before him.
That is for sure. And so does Baranikov. He wants to maintain this big lead. As things tick down. So the time clicks down, and the Americans don't close that gap. The advantage for the Russians is very pronounced. Very impressed by the team spirit and by the determination of the Russian team. I think we have to recognize that there's a lot of coaching going on there and give the whole group of the Russian foil team credit, because they won the women's, and they're in very good position to win the men's. Repost. There's the signature footwork by Olivares, and he hits off target. And the attack hits, the counterattack also hits, but the attack has priority, and therefore the Russians score. So they're up to huge lead and expanding it. And attack is good by Olivares. 8-touch deficit.
Those single lights aren't coming often enough for the Americans.
There's another one with his signature footwork. If he can get the Russians going backwards, he's got a great chance to win. I think when they crowd him, he's at a disadvantage. He dropped his foil there, and he's lucky to get away without getting hit. Okay, Olivares got a yellow card, and I'm not sure he knows or I know why. He made attack in preparation that actually worked this time, because that's been a point where he was unable to score. He was often scored against earlier in the match doing that move, but paid off this time.
Yeah, he's had three in a row, single lights. That's helpful.
So lefty-righty, this type of thing, this type of thing where they both going the same direction, they can run into each other. And Olivares already has a yellow card. If he's carded again for an offense,
be a red card.
And a point for the other one, yeah. I don't know if it's going to be enough to warrant that. He says no, and we're just going to go on. They both caused it, he says. They both came together.
Two minutes left, plenty of time for both.
And pair riposte, he crowds him and he manages to take the riposte on an invalid surface. So no harm done. And there comes the parry riposte.
Baranikov needs to interrupt Olivares'
yeah, and he did. See, now he's going after him.
Yeah.
And that's just what he should do. As I said, if he's going backwards, I think Olivares has the advantage. He doesn't want to go backwards anymore. Off target. So somebody got lucky. Oh, let's go down and talk to our coaches some more. And they got really close again. I really think that Baranikov has the advantage when they're close together. Yep, that's right. So that time that attack and preparation does not work, but he's asked for a video review. He thinks that preparation was there and it was not really an attack. So he indicated. And this is also the mistake he made in the individual event a couple of days ago. He did it time and time again.
Referee let that one go for a little bit.
Yep. But they didn't touch. I mean, he did a good job. So it's a big job for Kenji Bravo to climb out of this hole. He needs, what is that, 13 touches to 5? Something like that? To 4, actually, if he's going to win. In a tall order.
Well, or he just needs 9 touches if
he can
if
prevent
Kozlov
the person.
doesn't make it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Which is unlikely since he's a world champion. Well,
that was that signature touch that we were talking about.
Yes,
before.
indeed. And, you know, he seems a little calmer. He did it again. Kozlov tried to, and he got a card for causing body contact to avoid the touch. So that was a 2-for-1 for Kenji. He got hit in preparation. Did a little false attack. Kenji went for it, and he got hit. Same thing, took the blade. Now Kenji's going to blame his weapon. But that was a clear capture and hit or interception with the blade. And attack, counterattack. Kenji managed to avoid getting hit. And and attack is off target. And he tried that same touch again. He's been told not to do it. And it was flat again. So Kozlov, world champion. Oh, and remise.
Closing it in with 1 point to a gold medal for Russia. Kozlov, junior world champion. Looking for 2 gold medals.
It's a heck of an accomplishment.
And there it is. Gold medal for Russia. 2 gold medals tonight.
At the expense of the United States.
Sweeping the tournament with a gold medal in women's junior team foil and a gold medal in men's junior team foil. Double gold for Russia.
Double
on the
silver
last
for
night
U.S.
of double silver for the U.S. on the last night of foil competition here at the 2021 Junior and Cadet Fencing World Championships from Cairo, Egypt.
Congratulations, Team Russia.
Congratulations to Russia for a phenomenal performance this evening.
Phenomenal.
And to all the teams who did so well. And we have medal ceremonies coming up just momentarily. So please stay tuned for that. And tomorrow we begin épée. We'll have junior individual épée tomorrow. Men's and women's, all the way from the beginning to the gold medal rounds. 3 more days of competition here, all épée. And we appreciate you tuning in here to the FIE Fencing channel. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here,
Thanks to
folks.
everyone out there for your support. Thanks for watching. Thanks for giving us support. And it's a difficult time for everyone right now with this pandemic, but we are fencing and we are strong and we are a family and we will overcome it. So thanks again, and stay tuned for the medal ceremony. And special thanks tonight to Peter Bichard for helping out with foil.
Thanks, Serge. It was a great pleasure, and I really enjoyed it.
Thanks. We hope to see you back.
Thanks.
you. Thank you very much.